All right. And we're live. I always do that. I got to stop doing that. Why do I do it so much? All right. What's the date, guys? Help me out here. It's the 21st of June. We're just ticking away through the summer here. I don't know what happened. It's just going too fast. Too fast. Let's see here. We've got a couple people on, a couple people joining. Welcome to this recap with CM. I hope you guys have had a good week. It's Friday, June 21st, and I'm going to be your host, Conservative Mama. Sandy, what's up? Hello, Sandy on YouTube. How's it going? Hey, Peggy. Peggy's a supporter on Facebook. Hello, hello. She's on Facebook. What else is going on? How are you guys? You guys good? Did you have a good week? Nothing major happened this week. Good morning. Hey, Sharon on YouTube.
Like you have an app named YouTube.
Let's get out of here. Okay, let's Christy, hello. Sorry, I said something and like Siri popped on. I probably shouldn't say that because she'll probably pop back on again. But I was like trying to close her out while I'm talking to you guys. Let's see here. What's going on? Okay. So we're just gonna kind of go through what happened this week. Geez. There's a little upsetting. Some people are upset with the Fox News poll having Trump down. And people are saying it's biased. It's not true. This is how I want to run things, okay? You always run like you're losing, okay? You always run as if you've got no shot, okay? That's how we should be acting right now. Whether we're up or whether we're down or whether we're far ahead or not, you act as if you got to do everything you can to win, right? I mean, I don't want people to get so comfortable that they're like, oh, we're so far ahead, or oh, that Fox poll's a lie. It doesn't matter. Like they're a lie. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we win in November. And in order to do that, you have to be talking to your family. You have to be talking to your friends. You have to be speaking the truth. You have to be knocking doors, making phone calls. I mean, doing what you can, right? So I don't get too wrapped up in the polls. And especially right now, like it's going to fluctuate for a while until we hit September, October. Then they'll throw in some kind of October surprise. I'm hearing there's going to be some kind of July surprise. So just, stay steady. Don't get wrapped up in that stuff. And, be a voice right now. Let's see. Oh, look. Oh, thank you. You look forward to the Friday perspective. Well, thank you so much. JL Christie on Facebook. All right, you guys. So this did happen this week, which was pretty interesting to me, but we knew it was going to happen, right? You got two authoritarians, two dictators, two, strong arms on the world stage, Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin met. They became best friends over the last few days. They formed some kind of a pact. Let's read about it. Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un signed a partnership agreement on Wednesday. The two allied countries and global pariahs have several overlapping interests. The agreement officializes several informal aspects of Russia and North Korea relationship. Russian Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un of North Korea signed a strategic partnership agreement this week, capitalizing on two autocratic leaders. Overlapping interests, chief among them the desire for a more authoritarian world. So these two guys are like, yeah, let's take over the world together. They're now uniting. For the first time in 24 years, Putin visited North Korea. They signed an agreement to come to each other's defense if there's any aggression towards one of these countries. Russia state media outlet TASS News reported. The political pact also deepens the political trade, investment culture, and humanitarian ties between Russia and North Korea. This is a big deal, okay? And the mainstream media is not even going to talk about this. We're just going to pretend like it's all flowers and roses and Biden's awesome. But the fact that you've got two guys with nuclear capabilities joining up, and then you've got China in the background. Let's remember this. China hanging out, talking with Russia and Iran you're looking at like a formation of alliances here that's very threatening to the Western world and to freedom and to America and to, as the Dems say, democracy. This is bad. And I want to point this out because you're not going to hear about this, on the mainstream media. The fact that these two guys are meeting up shows that they feel empowered to meet up, shows that they know that no one's going to do anything about it. And to form an alliance, they're kind of looking at the rest of the world like, what are you going to do about it? They know that we're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to do anything about it because we have a weak leader right now. Do you think this would have ever happened under Trump? No, it wouldn't have happened under Trump. No, Trump was talking to both of these guys and calming the situation, right? These guys are saying, hey, if somebody messes with you, we're coming after them. And if somebody messes with you, we'll come after them. So you've got these two guys that I don't think they're sane. I don't think there's any sanity left up there, joining up in a partnership to unite against people that show any other countries that show any aggression. This is concerning. Okay, this is concerning. Would have never happened if Trump was president right now, right? You remember, everything was quiet. They don't want to talk about this, but everything was quiet. Kim Jong-un wasn't firing off nuclear weapons, into the ocean. Vladimir Putin wasn't invading Ukraine when Trump was president. It was calm. It was calm. Now they're instigating some kind of draft. America's instigating a draft. Like, if you are a parent with draft age children and you're going to vote for Biden, I really have, then you're sending your children, you're putting your kids in danger. You are, because you've got these two crazies that are joining up now. And you've got this is only escalating, right? This is not a calming. This is not a diffusing taking place here. These two guys meeting up, very concerning, uniting, very concerning. But we have to find the humor of it in some way, because that's what I try to do with some things. And somebody made this video and it just made me laugh at the budding relationship between Putin and Kim Jong-un. You have to watch this for a second, just to smile on a Friday, right? One thing more before I go. You got Putin waving Kim Jong-un. They're best friends now, guys. I know we laugh about it, but this is bad. This is not good. Two dictators joining up with nuclear capabilities. Like, this is like, okay, that's not good. And this would not have happened if Trump was president. Like, let's be honest. They see Biden stumbling around, mumbling around, can't walk upstairs, can't exit a stage, can't complete sentences. And they're thinking, let's take advantage of this situation right now. This guy is so weak. This guy is so weak. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad that this Biden is the example right now that we're putting forth as America. Like, it's so sad. So hopefully people realize that. And I'm serious. If you've got draft age children, and you're like, oh, I hate Trump, I hate him so much, maybe secretly vote for him so your kids don't go off to war. You don't have to tell anybody. Listen, you don't have to tell anyone. Okay, let's just have a moment here together. You can talk trash as much as you want, right? You're around your liberal friends. You're in your leftist circles. You're, democracy is at stake. You can do all that. But when it's time to vote, it's just you and that ballot. It's just you and that ballot. Nobody has to know. Nobody has to know that you're going to fill Trump in because you don't want war. Okay? Like, that's okay. I don't want my kids going to war. So I'm just going to, nobody's got to know. I'm just going to fill it in. You can do a secret ballot nobody's got to know. Seriously, for your children, for the love of not having World War III. Circle Trump. Anyways, I feel like I'm talking to people that just can't. Their hate is so strong that they're just. Okay, anyways, this is something that happened this week concerning to me. Ethan Haim is a doctor in Texas that has blown the whistle on child sex changes program in Texas. So this was kind of outlawed in Texas. Texas said, we're not doing this. We're not going to be doing these procedures. But allegedly, due to Ethan Haim, Dr. Haim's research, he's realized that this is still taking place. Okay. Last week, U.S. Marshals, though, showed up at the home of Surgeon Ethan Haim, who's 33, and ordered him to appear in court to face 4 felony charges of violating the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which bars disclosure of protected health information. According to Dr. Haim and his lawyers and journalist Chris Rufo, with whom Haim shared the information with in May 2023, no personal information was included in these documents. So they're saying that Dr. Haim, because he's blowing the whistle, he's saying, hey, they're still cutting children up. This is still happening. I'm here to expose it. I'm here to call this out. This is wrong. This shouldn't be happening. And he gathers this information, goes to this reporter, Chris Rufo, presents the information and redacts that personal information. Well, they're trying to charge him with like HIPAA violations, right? Because it's patient, personal stuff and you can't, but he redacted it all. So you don't see any of that stuff, but this is Biden's DOJ. Okay. This is Biden's DOJ. They don't want anything called out on them trying to chop out and mutilate children, right? They want that you keep your mouth shut. We're going to keep mutilating kids and you keep your mouth shut. And if you say anything about it, we're going to come after you. And he's looking at 10 years in prison for exposing the mutilation of children taking place at this Texas hospital. For my own part, I can confirm that nothing in the information provided to me identified any individuals, Chris Rufo says. This is the reporter. At issue are procedures performed by Texas Children's Hospital, where Haim completed his residency last year, and which long represented its support for the transgender industry. They call it gender affirming care when they're mutilating these kids. Words constantly used by all members of the Biden administration. So this is Biden coming after this guy. I just want you guys to lift this Dr. Haim up in your prayers. I mean, this is what a hero looks like, putting his career on the line, putting his freedom on the line, looking at possible time for exposing the mutilation of children that's taking place in Texas when it's not supposed to be. Allegedly, I have to be careful because allegedly, this is all alleged until we see what happens with this case. But I see Dr. Haim as an absolute hero. I do, because anyone that tries to come after kids and hurts children and harms children, when, let's be honest, your brain is not fully developed until you're like 25 years old. So to be doing anything to a child before that age, and then you're an adult, like, you're 18, 19, you do whatever you want to do, right? You got to stand before God and have that moment before him and justify him what you've done with the temple that you've been given. But to come after kids, it's evil. It's evil. And I will always call it evil. And even if I get canceled, I don't care. I'm going to call evil. That's what's gotten so messed up, right? And this guy's calling out the evil, and Biden's DOJ is coming after him. So that just exposes who Biden is, who this administration is, and how they feel about children and protecting children, because they obviously don't. So lift Dr. Haim up in your prayers. We'll be following this story and seeing what happens with that. But I saw that and I was just so messed up. It makes me so mad. I want to talk to you guys really quick about Redemption Shield. I am partnering with Redemption Shield. It's a company that I talked to this woman, and she is awesome. She's awesome. She's a CEO of the company, and she was dealing with some health issues because of all the electromagnetic force taking place due to like cell phone towers, getting headaches, just health issues started to develop. Well, she started to research grounding. And I didn't even know what grounding was. I didn't even know. But when you look into like an electrical outlet, and you've got those two prongs, and then you've got the hole down below. Well, that hole down below is a grounding outlet, right? And that actually goes to a copper kind of post situated near your home, near property that you're on, which grounds you. Well, we need negative ions, and these electromagnetic field takes away the negative ions. And so this actually, these products that she's brought forth, like you can have grounding mats for your dog. There's sheets that she has. There's protective things you can actually wear to kind of shut out a lot of this electromagnetic field stuff. And she says that it has showed an incredible significance in her health and the health of those people that use the products. There's some of that stuff is being sent to me. I can't wait to try it. I recommend you guys going to her site and checking it out. It's redemptionshield.com. You can check it out, and you can use promo code MOM for 10% off. But if you're dealing with headaches and you're dealing with all this stuff, I highly recommend looking into these products, and I look forward to using them as well. So that's a shout out to Redemption Shield. They're also conservative, and she's a Christian. And I want to support conservative Christians, especially in this economic times we're in, right? I don't want these companies to shut down. I want them to thrive. So check them out. Check them out. Okay. Oh, this gets me. Here we go. This is kind of my wheelhouse here. So here we go. Jack Black, actor Jack Black, beloved Jack Black. Nacho Libre, right? I mean, I love so many of the Jack Black movies. I do. Well, Hollywood got together just over the weekend. Hollywood, the people that live so incredibly disconnected from the rest of the world. Well, they gathered together, and they raised $30 million for Joe Biden to continue the nightmare that we've seen over the last 3.5 years. They want to keep this up. You know why? You want to know why they want to keep this up? Because they're not impacted by any of it. These people live in a bubble, in an absolute bubble. I'm going to talk about that in a minute because I actually did live in Hollywood. I experienced it for myself. But here is Jack Black's endorsement of Joe Biden. Watch, and then we're going to talk about this.
And then they said Julia Roberts won. A few days ago, my manager called me and said George Clooney and Julia Roberts wanted me to help out the president and speak here tonight. And I said, I am in. When and where? And thank you. And then they said, Jack, we know how busy you are. You don't have time. Look at all the other events that are happening tonight that you already turned down. MC at the Fliegelman Bat Mitzvah. The opening of the new Jack in the Box in Oxnard. Judge at the 2nd Annual Imperial Valley Avocado Festival. You don't see that on Meryl Streep's resume. I said, I know I turned them down, but my president needs me. Thank you. And then they hit me with the big one. They said, Jack, you can't go. You have nothing to wear. Your good suit is in the cleaners. Well, were they wrong? Because I had this to wear. My kick-ass American flag overalls. Most patriotic outfit of all times. That shut them up. There wasn't much they could say after that. And when the president wins in November... Yeah! I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a sweet shout-out in his victory speech for what I gave up to be here. Because when democracy is at stake, Jack Black answers the call. Mr. President, you're welcome. That's not the president.
Okay, so that's Jack Black endorsing Joe Biden. And I'd like to ask him how often he wears those overalls. I guarantee you it's never, ever. So let's talk about this for a second, because I grew up in the theater. I grew up acting and fell in love with it. I did all sorts of performances all throughout high school. I went on to get a scholarship to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts out in Los Angeles. Was there for a very short time. I said this to my patrons the other day. There's techniques when you're acting that try to like rid you of you, right? They try to get you to lose all of yourself so you can take on the character. There's different forms, different methods. I was taught multiple different methods. But a lot of it is kind of renouncing yourself and renouncing all that you believe in. And at one point it was like renounce God, renounce your political ideologies, renounce all of it and take on this new role. And that was such a conviction for me as a Christian. And I wasn't like, I was a Christian, like, because I grew up a Christian. I don't think my walk, my personal walk with God was as tight as it is now at all. You're still kind of questioning things, but I knew right from wrong. And I knew in that moment, I was like, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. So I ended up leaving. And then had like a back and forth relationship with Hollywood for multiple years throughout my 20s, and went out there again and got into the Screen Actors Guild and worked for a very well-known, famous celebrity, very, very wealthy, lived in their home, saw firsthand how miserable Hollywood is. They're miserable. A lot of painkiller addiction, a lot of drug use, and they don't really trust anyone. Even though they're surrounded by other famous people, and there are famous people coming and going out of this home all the time. And I signed an NDA, so I can't go into deep details of what I saw, but I saw people that have everything. Like according to like the world, they're famous. This person could shut down Bloomingdale's and shop privately, the entire department store. Very, very wealthy. Private driver, private cook, gardener, personal assistant, personal trainer, nanny, all of it. I mean, these people, they lived completely detached from reality. And I witnessed the inability to do just basic things like boil water, microwave a product, a food in the oven, in the microwave oven, adjust the thermostat. Just basic things that any human being can do, they can't. They literally can't. And I thought to myself, I mean, multiple times being there, I am with an infant. I'm with someone that has to be cared for because they don't know how to do just normal things that you and I know how to do. And they don't relate to the rest of the world, and they're very concerned with other people, what other people think about them, constantly Googling themselves, constantly worried, like, are you really my friend because you're my friend because you're my friend? Or are you my friend because I'm famous? Are you my friend because I'm famous? And then they feel there's that loneliness that they're struggling with and dealing with. So as they all gather together, like we see in this, cheering on Jack Black, they're all lonely, sad people that live in a bubble that's so different from you or I. They don't know, they could never mow grass. I mean, they wouldn't know how to do that. And I'm not kidding. Like, they really don't know how to do just basic things. Would never go to the grocery store. I mean, I understand you can't go to the grocery store. This person probably couldn't because they're too famous, right? So they have to have someone to shop for them. But they could possibly learn how to do some basic things, but they don't. Okay. Everything is done for them, even like flushing the toilet. Okay. That's what I saw. Not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. So when I see these people tell us who to vote for, when I see them say what we should care about, it really gets me. Okay. It just gets me, you guys. It gets me in a way that other things don't get me, because I'm like, stop. Like, you could not tell us what a gallon of gas costs right now. You couldn't. You have no idea. You have no clue. You have no idea the struggle that middle-class Americans are going through right now when they head to the grocery store. Okay? I went to the grocery store this last week, and I made the rookie mistake of bringing my children with me. And my oldest is 12, so he probably could have stayed at home, but he's like, oh, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. I ended up spending so much more money than normal because I had my kids with me. And literally, when I was in the grocery store, this other older mom came by and she's like, you never bring your kids. Like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I know, I shouldn't have done it. And these celebrities they could never relate to that. Ever. They would be like, what? They don't have a concept of like money. Like they don't like there's so much money. This person that I work for, they have so much money that like they don't know like value, right? Like if you said, hey, this cup is, $500. If you want it, it's $500. They'd be like, okay, like $500. It just does. There's no. So when they tell you who you should vote for, when they tell you what you should care about, it's so offensive to me. I can't handle it because I'm like, shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. I know how you live. And you don't. Just sit out. Just sit this one out, okay? Until you start living like the rest of America, don't tell the rest of America how to vote. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? So I had to do this little one because this is something that's it's personal to me. It is personal to me because I experienced it for myself, how Hollywood lives. And so every election, guys, every election season, we have Hollywood. They come out and they tell us how to vote. It's like clockwork. It's here. They're going to come. Here they come. Here they come. And they're like, hi. We want you to vote for the person that's going to keep the southern border open. Don't ask any questions. We know that it perpetuates human trafficking and definitely endangers children, but keep that border open. Okay? I would question that. Okay? Don't listen to Hollywood. Don't listen to Hollywood. They don't live like you. They don't think like you. They don't like you. Okay? These people don't like you. They want you to come see their stuff. They want you to spend money on watching them perform, but they don't like you. They detest you. Okay? They do. I'm just being honest. So here's a little take I had on Hollywood rolling out every single election season. This is the ads that they play.
Fear is you should be terrified.
You should vote. We famous people are here to tell you who you should vote for.
You should listen to us. Oh, we're famous. And we know democracy's at stake. Democracy is at stake. To be honest, I don't even know what that means, but it sounds bad. It sounds terrifying. I think fear is you should be terrified.
Because democracy is at stake.
Yeah, it's at stake. Yeah, I thought I should hold the flag so they think that I love this country. Do you think we're overusing the democracy is at stake? No, okay. Democracy is at stake. Democracy. I've said that a few times.
We all live completely disconnected from the rest of the world, from the rest of you people.
Really disconnected. Yes, a life lived separately from the peasants. I mean, we're Hollywood.
Like, I have my own cook and personal trainer.
I got my own driver, my own gardener and masseuse, my own house cleaner, personal assistant.
But you should still listen to us because we're famous and we're celebrities.
Listen to us. You must listen to us. Do as we say. But seriously.
So remember, when you head to the polls this November, vote for who we tell you to vote for. Because we know. Because we're famous. And we're celebrities. And like a big deal.
Super big deal. Definitely. Real famous. So famous.
Vote.
Vote.
I just had to yell at my kids. They're like outside the door. I'm like, why are you down here? Talking, just chatting away. They're waiting for me to be done so they can hang out with me. But I'm like, go upstairs. Anyways, that's it. That's Hollywood. Every single time they roll it out. This is what they do. They tell you who to vote for. They have no idea how you live, what your day-to-day struggle is. They don't know. But they want to tell you. They want to tell you who to vote for. So you know what you should do? I mean, this is something that the right gets wrong, is it needs to be ridiculed. It needs to be mocked. It needs to be shunned. When these people start talking and telling you what's best for you, you need to say, stop it. Just like this, we need more videos of people ridiculing Hollywood. I mean, seriously, that's how you just come in and you just take out the ladder, the whatever, the high top that they're on, come in and just whack it. Like, that's what we should be doing as conservatives. We should be being like, no, sorry, no, stop it. And so that's my take on that. And I hope more people have no problem combating these lefties, and they're all left. I mean, have you noticed that there's very, very rarely will you find a conservative in Hollywood. And if they are, they have to be quiet about it. You can't talk about it. You got to be no, or else you won't work. Okay. I even told my supporters this week, hold on a second. Can you shut that door for me, please? This is my life, right? Yeah, it's my son. When I lived out there, I remember driving to a director's home in the Hollywood Hills off of Mulholland, and I drove, got to his home, beautiful home. And he literally told me, you are like going to have to compromise who you are. You're going to have to do things you don't want to do in order for people to know who you are, in order to have any kind of shot at anything. And I appreciate the honesty, to be honest with you. I appreciate him being so honest. And I remember driving away from that thinking, I can't do this. Like, I can't. So before these people tell you who you're supposed to back, just, they're empty people. Okay. And the morale, there's very little morality, it's immoral. It's a cesspool. It's dark. Anyways, so that's my take. I can talk more about this another time. But that, I just get a kick out of it every single time. Hey, we're Holly. We're going to tell you who to vote for. We're going to tell you who. Okay. So this keeps happening, and this is sad because every single time I get on X, which is like formerly Twitter, I see another horrible story about an American being attacked by an illegal immigrant, violated, murdered. It's so bad. It's like a daily occurrence. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I mean, you're not going to see it on Facebook because Facebook just, it's so bad. Facebook, it's so bad. Just for instance, when I posted that video, that satiric video on Facebook, 2 minutes after I posted that, I had like 56 likes or something like that. I can post for you guys this later, like 50 something likes. And then I went back and checked it like 10 minutes later, and I had like 10 likes. So they're removing likes. They're removing views. They cannot stand what I do, like, at all. They despise a conservative mom using satire to go after the left. They can't stand it. They can't handle it. And that's why, they suppress. That I am more suppressed now on Facebook than I ever have been, ever. So you're not going to see these sad stories. You're not going to see the truth. You're not going to see what's really happening. So if you're getting your information on Facebook, you're getting a very biased viewpoint, because it's so bad. Okay. And we know that big tech has now colluded with the Biden administration. That all came out about a year ago. So, we know this is happening. Okay. So come follow me on X. I'm on Rumble. I'm on Wimkin, a shout out to Wimkin. I'm on MeWe. I'm on other platforms that allow me to, I'm on Telegram. And those are places where we really should be, because you're not going to get any, you're not going to probably see my work on these big tech platforms that suppress free speech, and you're not going to get the truth. But anyways, all the time now, I'm seeing these horrible stories about these illegal immigrants coming in. And I want to run down some of them. And I know it's sad, but I've got like a page I got so much of people being attacked and murdered because of our open border. And again, okay, I get you don't like Trump. It's just horrible. It's horrible. So we're going to vote for Biden. Well, in doing that, you are allowing more Americans' lives to be put in jeopardy. In January, 2 men and 1 woman were killed by a man who posed as a UPS delivery truck driver at their home in Minneapolis. Turns out to be an illegal immigrant. In December, a Denver woman and her teenage son were killed after being struck by a driver. Again, an illegal immigrant. I can't even say this guy's name. After Salvadorian citizen Jose Guadalupe was previously deported 4 times, and he was just recently arrested with the deaths of Melissa Powell, 47, and her son, 16, on December 2023. On December 12th, 2023. That's the Denver one. It's just, I don't even want to go through all of them, but multiple, and just the mother, you guys remember this, and we got Laken Riley, and just recently a migrant was charged with the murder of a 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungare, who was lured away from her home, and then she was strangled by 2 illegal immigrants from Venezuela. A mother of 5 from Maryland, Rachel Morin, was murdered by an El Salvadorian illegal. Just last night, a Chinese immigrant has been arrested in LA for a murder. Legal immigrant El Salvadorian was arrested in Langley Park, Maryland in February for the death of a 2-year-old boy. Jose Santiago Charas was arrested and will face charges of capital murder after he assaulted 2 sisters in Dallas over Thanksgiving. A Haitian illegal immigrant who came across the border illegally in August 2022 was charged in September for causing a vehicle crash, which injured 26 school children and killed 11-year-old Aiden Clark. I mean, I could keep going and going and going, but can you imagine what this looks like if we have another 4 years of Biden? I mean, think about it. Can you imagine? We've got close to 11 million that we know of. He wants to fundamentally transform this country. And having people come here that do not align with American values. Like, I'm all for legal immigration. Yes, come pursue the American dream, but do it in a legal way. Come wanting to then integrate yourself into our culture. These people don't want to do that. A lot of them don't. I'm not saying all of them don't, but a lot of them don't. Clearly, you can see that. If you care about your kids, if you care about the safety and future of your children, you secure our border. This stunt being done right now with some kind of maybe securing taking place with the Biden administration is all political stunt. That border will go wide back open again if he gets back in. And you're looking at another millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people flooding into this country, and more crime. And so it's just sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. And it's like every day for me now, like, here and there. Yeah. But then it's like every day I'm reading some horrific story about some American citizen that is no longer with us because of the Biden policies at our southern border. This needs to stop. It needs to stop. Another promo that I'm doing, that I am partnering with fentanyltest.com. The reason why is because of our open border. Because of our open border, guys, we are seeing more and more fentanyl deaths in our country than ever before, right? I mean, we're kind of like, I feel like we're kind of like, you gotta protect your own now, right? You should be armed. You should definitely be armed, and you got to protect your own. And I know there's a lot of people out there that have family and friends that struggle with drug use. They do struggle with drug use. And this test can test any kind of possible drug and can detect any kind of fentanyl in it. The tiniest bit of fentanyl can immediately kill you. So this product, and this is actually the CEO of Wimkin, which is the free speech platform that I support. He's kind of behind all this, but it's thefentanyltest.com, and this test can literally test anything that could possibly have fentanyl in it. And so at this point, we have to kind of protect ourselves, right? You can get 10% off with the promo code MOM. Check them out. Go to thefentanyltest.com for more. All right, you guys, a couple more things. Oh my gosh, the time is getting away from me. Okay, Donald Trump on the All In podcast. Got to talk about this. Okay, so where are my notes on this? Where are my notes? Okay, so Donald Trump he said a couple things that were very interesting. He was asked if he would release all of the CIA information on JFK's assassination. That there's rumors that the CIA was behind it. These guys are asking about it. And he says, when you got elected, he was asked, when you got elected in 2016, you said the first thing, or one of the things you wanted to do was to release the JFK files. And then you said later, I saw it and it wasn't really ready to do it. So I'm curious, what's in the files? And Trump says, I was hit by some people that work for me, and they're great people that you would respect. And they asked me not to do it. And he's asked, and I am saying, why? Tell us why. I respect the people and would have done that again, but this time I'm going to do it. So Trump is basically saying that if he gets back in, he's going to release the full files. A lot of people are rumoring that the CIA was behind it. And so I hope that he does do it. I really do. Trump is then, this guy named Jason asked, RFK says that the CIA ended his uncle's life. Do you believe that? Trump says, well, this wasn't the CIA that asked me not to release the files, but I think CIA was probably behind it. So that's like a big thing to say on a podcast. So that's what Trump said on the All In podcast. Trump also said something on the All In podcast that I have to address. And a lot of conservatives won't address that because I find like a lot of conservative influencers are just like, hoorah, hoorah, cheerleader, cheerleader. And no matter what their guy says, they're like, yay, we love you. You can say anything. I'm not that person. Like, I'm sorry. If you say something that I disagree with, I'm going to tell you I disagree with you on that. I just don't think that's a good idea. And there are things that Trump does that I disagree with. Does that mean that I'm not going to support him or that I'm not going to vote for him? No, he's totally got my vote. I totally support him. But there are things that he says and does that I disagree with because I'm a human. And if I agreed with every single thing that Trump said, that would make me a robot. And I'm not a robot. I'm a human. I have my own individual thoughts, my own individual ideas, my own individual takes on things that don't align with Trump. I disagree with him on some of this COVID stuff. I do. I just do. I disagree with on some of the stuff that the way it was handled, some of the people leadership picks that he picked to surround him. I disagree with it. Well, he said something on the All In podcast that I'm fascinated that a lot of conservative influencers are not even going to talk about it. They're like, no, we're not going to talk about it. But he said in 2016, Trump said, I will end forever the use of the H-1B as a cheap labor program and institute an absolute requirement to hire American workers first. But on the All In podcast, he said, I promise to staple a green card to anyone who graduates from any college, even a 2-year community college. That's not America first. Okay. And so here you can hear him in his own words. I disagree with this. But you let me know.
For Europe, any country.
Three of us are immigrants, sir.
Yeah. And 3 of the 4 here are immigrants. The ones without the ties. And we could get these great people into our country, and that's a loss for our adversaries and our competitors, and it's a gain for us. But I've never heard you talk about this. Can you please promise us you will give us more ability to import the best and brightest around the world to America?
I do promise, but I happen to agree. That's why I promise. Otherwise, I wouldn't promise. Let me just tell you that it's so sad when we lose people from Harvard, MIT, from the greatest schools and lesser schools that are phenomenal schools also. And what I wanted to do, and I would have done this, but then we had to solve the COVID problem because that came in and, sort of dominated for a little while, as you perhaps know. But what I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college, I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country. And that includes junior colleges too. Anybody graduates from a college, you go in there for 2 years or 4 years. If you graduate or you get a doctorate degree from a college, you should be able to stay in this country. And you know more stories than I do, but I know of stories where people graduated from a top college or from a college and they desperately wanted to stay here. They had a plan for a company, a concept, and they can't. They go back to India, they go back to China, they do the same basic company in those places, and they become multi-billionaires employing thousands and thousands of people, and it could have been done here. And a bigger example is you need a pool of people to work for your companies. You have great companies, and they have to be smart people. Not everybody can be less than smart. You need brilliant people. And we force the brilliant people, the people that graduate from college, the people that are number one in their class from the best colleges, you have to be able to recruit these people and keep the people. It was such a big deal. Somebody graduates at the top of the class. They can't even make a deal with the company because they don't think they're going to be able to stay in the country. That is going to end on day one.
Okay, so I disagree with this. I think that if there are Americans that can be hired for those positions, they should be first because that's America first. And also there's this part of me that's like, wait a minute, like, couldn't you as a foreign adversary send over, some of your top people to go to a university and collect information and get their green card and spy on America? I mean, wasn't that happening just a few years ago? It was reported like with the Chinese. So I don't like this. I don't like it. So those are my thoughts on that. And I'm just going to say, I don't like it. I think that Americans should be top priority. Americans should be top priority when it's time to get jobs. America first every single time, all the time, especially with people that go to college and they spend, well, not anymore. You don't have to spend any money because the government will just pay for it to pay your loan off. But in the past, when you spend all this money for your college education and you're not indoctrinated and you're out there trying to find work, you're an American citizen. You should have top priority. You just should. So I disagree with this one. And I think it's healthy because what I have found is if Trump finds people that push back, then he's not inclined to continue to push it. Like if he sees like his base is like, no, that's not a good idea. We don't like that. Usually he backs off of it. If everybody is standing like, yes, whatever you say, yes, go Team Trump, then he'll go forward with it. Okay. He responds to people. He responds to his base. He does. And he likes to be liked. He does. But you have to be honest. Okay. We have to be honest right now. We have to be honest. I think people were too quiet in 2016. I mean, when he got inaugurated in 2017, he started to surround himself with people that really did not have his best interests at heart. I wish more people would have been vocal. Like, don't put that guy there. Don't make him Secretary of State. Like that's not a good idea. He shouldn't be your chief of staff. I wouldn't have him, like nobody was doing that. It was just kind of like, we're just, leaders need people that will push back on their ideas. Like that's healthy. And to not push back on ideas is detrimental to that person and detrimental to you. It really is. Like if I love my kids, right? You can still love that person. You can still love Trump. Okay. I love my kids, but sometimes they have some bad ideas. Don't jump off the balcony. That's not a good idea. Maybe you should practice that move on the trampoline before you try to do it, on the grass. Like that. just like recommending things is healthy. Like, hey, I love you, but that's not the best move. That's not what's best for you. This isn't the best move for Americans. This doesn't put Americans first. It's not a good idea. I don't like it. Okay. So know that I will voice my opinion if I don't like it. I'm not just going to be that dumb person that's just cheering on things that I don't like. I can't do that. Okay. I'm doing that locally right now too. A lot of people want me to get behind, endorsed candidates that I don't support. I can't do it. Now, I know it might be politically advantageous for me to get behind people that my local party support, but if I know in my heart that person is not the best person for the job, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to compromise my values, my integrity, what I believe in order to be liked or to advance myself politically. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. So I disagree with this Trump move. And to anybody that's watching locally, I'm not gonna get on the bandwagon. Like, I'm just not. I'm not gonna do it. So anyways, okay. This is the last little clip I got to show you guys, but I saw this and I was happy. I was very happy to see this. Jillian Michaels, she is not a conservative. She is a gay woman that I probably don't align with on most of her stances. Like we probably would disagree on a lot of things if Jillian and I sat down. But I saw this clip and she says why she had to leave California. And I absolutely loved it. I was like, this is excellent. This is absolutely excellent. I want to show it to you. There is some cussing in it. I tried to bleep it out, so bear with me if you hear it. But I did my best. But this gave me some hope. It gave me some hope because I feel like even the lefties, okay, even the liberals, the progressives might be waking up. So watch this.
I'm a woman. I'm a gay woman. My mom's a Jew. My dad's an Arab. I have a black kid. And believe it or not, my son is half Latin, even though he doesn't look like it. I hold a million cards in your game of woke victimology poker. And when I leave California, maybe you've lost your fucking mind. Just maybe. Like, when you have me running from home, maybe it's gone way too far.
What was the line? Like what was it?
My God,
I guess,
girl, there's not
you?
enough time. And, I actually take this line from Bill and Elon Musk, and they're like, I actually haven't changed. Yes. The world around me is shifting, and I haven't moved. So some of these laws that are passing here are absolutely mind-boggling in relation to crime, protecting our kids. Like, we're decriminalizing everything, which arguably I would probably be okay with, but we're not regulating any of it.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you're going to decriminalize sex work, but only so women can legally loiter on the streets. Like, not to keep them safe, not to have them pay taxes, not to make them, regularly check for STDs, not to take away the pimps out of the equation. It's like, if you made that argument to me, I'd be like, well, yes, we want, of course. I mean, I could be liberal. I could go there with you. But I grew up this way. But when it's like, oh, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pass a law for LGBTQ rights so that 24-year-old men can sleep with 14-year-old boys and not have to register as a sex offender because it's just not fair to the gays. I'm like, what? It's what? Like, I don't know if you saw that one. That was like, I think early 2020 when they passed that law. Mm-hmm. And I was like, if a 24-year-old man touches my 14-year-old son, I will get a gun and take matters into my own hands. Yes. Like, are you fucking kidding? Or the fact that a 12-year-old child can be put on off-label cancer drugs to irreparably change their body. Again, if my son came to me and said, Mom, My daughter, I think I'm trans. I'd say, okay, like, you want to dress this way? You want me to call you whatever the heck you want me to address? Fine. Explore it. I love you. I'm cool. Like, do you, as long as we're safe. But we're not changing your body until it's fully developed. I'm sorry. Conversation's over. Can't get a fucking
Exactly.
Are you crazy? It's insane. Like, I just can't. It's madness. It's madness to me. I could go on and on and on, and it's madness.
So true. I mean, so true. And the fact that Jillian Michaels, that was on the Sage Steele podcast. She's former ESPN reporter, and she's got her own show, and she brings on some really interesting guests. But I saw that, and I was like, wow, here's Jillian Michaels, definitely Hollywood, definitely left, definitely progressive, liberal, all of that stuff, waking up. Like waking up and starting to see how insane it's gotten. And that is awesome. That is good. That should make you very, very happy that you have someone that probably very, very far away from you on a lot of things starting to see it. Praise God for that. Keep praying, right? Keep praying and asking God to open up these people's eyes. Because when I saw that, I was like, yes, she sees it. She sees it. And once you start to see it, then, here we go. Because once you start to see it, then you start to ask why. Why? Well, why are you doing this? Why are you making this happen? Why are you keeping the border open? Why are you doing this to children? Why? And once you start to ask why, and you start to get the pushback of don't you dare ask why, don't you dare ask why, then you want to really know why. And then once you really start to ask the questions and search for the answers, then you're exposed to the truth. And once the truth hits you, you're free, you're liberated. Nothing can hold you down. You see it. That's what we need. We need the truth. The truth. So when you have people like Jillian Michaels start to wake up, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. That's hopeful. That's so hopeful. So keep the faith. Keep on praying. I really believe, I've been praying for stuff just in my own life, and I'm starting to see breakthrough in it. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, there is power in prayer. When you pray for this country, when you pray for people, is that their eyes be open, that they start to see it, that they just start to ask questions. When you ask questions and you want answers and you have people pushing back and saying, don't you dare ask these questions, that's when it starts to break. The dam starts to break. And that's what we're starting to see. And she has a lot of influence, right? She runs with people that I would never run with or have anything related to, really in relationship with, right? Like, so, but she has the ability to speak to a totally different audience. And that's good. That's good. We need people speaking to the audiences that they've been called to, right? And for you have an audience. It might be just your kids. And I think that's the biggest audience to ever have, right? Honestly, even though I'm yelling at mine to quiet. That's my primary audience is my children, speaking into their lives, speaking the truth, challenging them to ask questions. I think that's extremely important because you're going to be asked questions at some point, right? Like when I was launched into the world and I went off to college, and you start to get challenged. I think it's important to challenge in the home. I do. I think it's important to play the devil's advocate with your kids, to challenge them, to say, hey, they're going to ask you this or this. They're going to say this to you. They're going to do this. And how are you going to handle it? Like, that's really important. Okay. That's really important for us to do as parents. But we all have our different audiences, right? The different people that we can speak into and begin to just ask them questions and ask them and get them to ask questions. And once people start asking questions, I really feel like that's where the light begins to break through. So anyways, that is a wrap for today. We're at 59 minutes. That was a long one, and a lot to cover. And I didn't even think I had a lot to cover. I think I just talked a lot on this one, not necessarily running down all of the stuff that happened this week, but just kind of sharing my personal views on a lot of things. But I'm thankful for you guys. God bless you. A shout out to my Patreon supporters. I am so thankful for you guys. You keep me going. You really do. And I get teared up every single time I talk to my Patreon supporters. I'm like, hold back the tears, because I'm so thankful for you guys. Because often I'm like, I don't know if I can keep doing this because of the censorship. But then I have my Patreon supporters that are just like, you know, they just plug away, keep supporting me, and I'm just so thankful for it. So let me see if I can find the link. I don't have it. I don't know. I'm on Patreon, and I do this every time. I do this every time where I'm like, oh, come support me, and then I don't have the link. I'll find the link at some point, but I'm over there and could appreciate your support. It keeps this thing going, keeps the satire going, which I think is, I do believe that it's, we need more of it. We need more satire. Thank you, Norm, on YouTube. Appreciate that. Jeez. But I do, I appreciate any support you guys can throw my way. I'm a small little entity here. And I do speak my mind, because a lot of people don't. And, I'll be honest with you guys. I got to be honest with you, or else I can't sleep at night. So I'm going to keep it real, and I hope you guys do too. So have a wonderful and blessed weekend, and keep praying for this country, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.